Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks podcast with your host, Catrielle. We have a very special guest here today. Her name is Jennifer McClure, and she's a sound healer. Welcome.
Hi. I'm so happy and grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We also have Carm listening in here. So just want to say welcome, and also please tell us a little bit about your business, your isness more so.
So I have a business called Waves of Love Healing, and my primary focus, my passion, my purpose in this lifetime is sound healing, and that is the main focus of Waves of Love Healing. It is something I'm so honored to be able to share with people who are open to receive. There's so much amazing healing benefits within sound therapy.
Wow, wow, I love that. And I was just tuning in, tuning in,
Right?
and I just got out of doing a chart reading with the Kabbalah, the Mazel astrology specifically, and I was explaining the importance of the Earth sign and how that is part of your soul mission, and yours, if I can, um,
Mhm.
your sun sign is Aries, but your Earth sign is Libra, which is literally an aspect of sound and harmony and bringing that. And how amazing is it that it plays out like this?
Right. Right? Yeah. There's no coincidences, right? No
No,
coincidences. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how did you get into this line of work? Like, what led you to this?
So it's so interesting because I started my awakening journey back in 2012 after our daughter was born. And um, it started out kind of a slower process in the beginning. And then it kind of started speeding up as things progressed. But about like 6 to 7 years ago, if somebody would have told me you're going to be a sound healer, I would have said, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. So along my journey, through the healing process and trying to figure out what I'm here for. That's always been a struggle. It was always a struggle for me. I never felt like I fit in anywhere. The way that our world is, the structure, everything about it has never made sense. I've been a questioner my entire life. I've never fit into the mold of society ever. So I really struggled throughout school. And then the question, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to college? I have no idea. I had no idea. Like so many people knew what they wanted to do. I didn't have that yet. So after 2012 and I started my growing process, then actually connected with um, a healing touch practitioner who also was clairvoyant and a few other different things like that. Um, and so she was doing her thing, and she stops and goes, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, is that like a good O or a bad O?" And she goes, "Oh, you're a healer. I've never worked on a healer before." And at that point, I was like, again, I don't really know what that means.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's so funny. So then after that session, then I started, doing the meditations and just like really trying to feel into what that meant for me. And I've always loved singing, and I've loved music. I mean, most of us do. It's something that has always moved me. I feel it very deeply. And so then I started kind of playing around with, okay, well, what energy, like, what do I want to do? What's a healer? What kind of healing do I want to do? And so I was looking into what she was doing, healing touch. Like, okay, that was cool. Didn't quite resonate though. Same with Reiki. I also am a Reiki practitioner now, but that wasn't something that I wanted to start with. It didn't feel quite exactly what I was looking for. And then I came across sound healing as a modality, and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. So then I started looking into that. And of course, there's so many different kinds of tools and different ways to do it. So that was another whole process. Okay, do I want to use tuning forks? Do I want to use, whatever it is? And I came across the singing bowls. And that was like, oh my gosh, these are really cool. And then I looked up how much they were. And then I was like, okay, maybe they're not that cool. So it was one of those like, okay, I really resonated with it. Like I looked it up and I listened to a few videos. I'm like, this is so, like, it hit me. And I'm like, this resonates so deeply. But then, like, the cost wise, that was something that I was like, well, I don't know if I can do that right now. And then it was like, okay, if it's meant to be, then I know that then it will. Like, I am putting my faith out into the universe. And if this is what it's supposed to be, then it's going to align beautifully and perfectly, just as it always does. So I ended up going to my first in-person sound healing session, and that was it. I knew that this was it. This was something that was so deeply within me that I just knew that this is what I was going to be doing. And it was like tears of joy. And I felt so relieved, but yet so at peace, because I finally had figured out what my purpose was. And that was something I had been struggling with for as long as I can remember. So then, of course, because I opened to that and just allowed everything to flow that it was is the way that it was supposed to, I was able to get all of the sound healing tools that I wanted in my collection at this point in time. So I feel very, very grateful that all of this was allowed to come in, because I was open to receiving these things. So it's been a journey, and I've been doing this for a little over 5 years now, and it's I mean, humbling. I don't have human words to describe the feeling that I have when I get to share this amazing gift with people. It is so profound, and I can't even explain what that feels like to me, to be able to hold space for people in this kind of a setting. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. But so for those who are unfamiliar, um does your set align to like a chakra system or to yes.
So what's really cool is, so we're all really familiar with the Tibetan metal Himalayan bowls. So I have a few of those as well.
I was like, I have them under my table.
You can play them. So yeah, I have a few of those. The ones that I have of those are called dolphin spirit bowls. So you can put a little bit of water in them, and then when you chime them and rock them, they sound like whales and dolphins. So I love playing with those ones. Then the other ones that I have are the white frosted, that again, people are very familiar with seeing. They're the quartz crystal bowls, and I have a 7-piece chakra set in that. So that is, there's a bowl for each of our main chakras. And then my favorite singing bowls, and I like to describe them as the next generation of singing bowls, are the Alchemy crystal singing bowls. So this is a practitioner bowl, so it has a handle on it. The other ones are they don't have the handle, and you just set them on the O-rings like the other ones. So these ones are my absolute favorite to work with. These ones have a base of quartz like the white ones, but they also have added gemstones, minerals, crystals, metals to aid in the healing benefit. So like this one is rhodochrosite. So there's quartz and rhodochrosite in this bowl. Then it's also, it also has the note, and then there's also a frequency that is emitted with this as well. So there's so much going on within just this one bowl. This one is actually tuned to, looks like G, so for our throat chakra, but it's also pink and rhodochrosite for the heart chakra. So what I love about the alchemy bowls is it's not just specific necessarily for one chakra. You can have, let's see, I have a bowl that is in the note of C, but it is a kyanite bowl. So that is good for the throat chakra. So your tuning, and it's I like to describe it as you're tuning from the root chakra, from the C note to the throat chakra. But what's amazing with sound healing and frequency therapy is it's going to go wherever it needs to go. It doesn't just have to be a C for the root chakra. Our crown chakra also needs a grounding C note, if we're looking at it in that way. So all of our chakras, and the main ones, and including all the other, hundreds of ones that we have, they all need all the notes. They all need all the frequencies to tune and to release and to do whatever it needs to do to bring our body back into alignment and back to our natural state of living and a state of being.
Wow. Wow. That's
so those are my
incredible.
favorite. Yes.
Wow. So part of sound healing, it's not just doing sound bowl, like, for a big group or an audience, but it's also doing it as a practitioner.
Yep. Yeah. So I offer private sessions in my studio in Clearwater, Florida, and I love doing it like private sessions, and I love doing group sessions for different reasons. When it's private session, you really can tune into that person and their energy field, and you really it gets more personal that way, and you can really tap into who they are and where they're at in the moment. And then the group sessions are absolutely phenomenal on in a different way. You have so many different things that are playing a part in each session. So you could have 20 sessions, and each session is probably going to be very different for you, just depending on where you're at. Is there something going on that you're dealing with personally in your life, where my energy is at? The practitioner plays a part in that as well. If you have a group session, every single person is bringing their own energy into the session, so we're all sharing this beautiful connection and this beautiful space together, but it's a very individual and personal experience through the session as well. So there's just so many things at play. And astrology, as you know, whatever's going on, solar, lunar, all these different things are playing a part in how we're going to feel and kind of receive a sound journey, a sound healing, just depending on where your frequency is already at, and what needs to be unblocked or released or moved or shifted. And then as that's happening, it's creating space for new awareness, for new things to come in, for your body to actually heal all the way down to the cellular level.
Ooh, wow. That's powerful.
It is.
So I have several questions, but first I want to say I can attest. I asked Jennifer to be a part of a going away party. When I decided that I'm leaving and I'm going to Israel, I had the most beautiful pleasure to do a meditation while Jennifer was playing the singing bowls. And were those the alchemy bowls too?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
That night was so a lot that I'm like still grounding. But it was such a powerful night. We had, my rabbis there, like people from all parts of my life, my parents, like good friends, and all in one space. And I feel like sound was the theme that night, and food.
Yeah, right. Always food, right?
Always food.
Can't forget that.
I'm Jewish. But actually, actually, since I'm here in Israel and we've seen this play out, what were you feeling that night? Because we never really got to, like, you know, integrate all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I felt bliss. Like I felt that night was, it was powerful, but yet there was something very relaxing, and it felt like we were just at home with each other. It felt very much at home. There was a collection, like you said, there was a bunch of different people from different communities, but it's like we all just came together, and it just aligned so perfectly, and everybody just kind of meshed so well. The conversations that were happening, everything, like you said, the food that we were sharing, it was high vibrational, healthy foods. Everything just felt so connected and peaceful. I guess that's the way that I felt. I just felt very at peace, and I felt like everything was just very much in a flow, in a divine flow.
Yes. It was so interesting because the whole idea in regards to what, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I start a meditation, I don't plan it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally have to let go, and whatever comes through comes through.
Yep.
And I was speaking to my rabbi previously, and she had told me an idea of what she does, and I kind of did a version of that because I actually have never experienced this meditation with her. And so it was so interesting how, like, we were under, like, this night sky, and these beautiful frequencies are playing. It's like angels, literally. And then, like, the whole point was walking the path to paradise. And, like, that's like the intention I set. I don't even know if
Mm.
I, like, said it out loud, but, like, it felt like if we were all on one frequency and heart level, this is
Mm.
what would occur with each other.
Right.
And
Yes,
it was so freaking beautiful.
it was. It was. Absolutely. It was so magical. It was amazing.
And
Yeah.
like, it was like a fairy garden too. Like,
Yes. It was. It was like the perfect everything. Like you said, the stars. And I mean, it was the perfect setting. It was amazing.
it's like what you would call that perfect date, right?
Right?
But just with humans, with your
Yes.
brothers and
Yes.
sisters. It's like,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
wild.
Yes, and we need more of this. Like we need more of this so much, connecting with people on in that way, on that layer of awareness. I don't know. It's just magical.
Absolutely. And it's funny because so I didn't preface any of this stuff, but Jennifer and I have known each other for quite some time. We were part of, community back in, Florida. We would go to 1111 meditations that were originally led by Carmela Watts, and now she's journeying across the country, um and we've also been connected in the world of like Neem, this
Hmm.
new earth economy movement. And like, so it's really cool to see you in different faces, in different aspects of my life. I know you're a ride or die, you know.
Aries,
Yes, I knew you were gonna say exactly that.
right? Oh man.
But, like, it's just like, it's really beautiful to, like, have these different aspects, flow together as one. And it's just so beautiful, and I'm very grateful for you, like,
Mm.
seriously.
I'm so
Oh
grateful for
man.
you. So grateful for you.
And I was just replaying in my head like being at one of those 11:11 meditations, and I remember there was an announcement that went out of like who would want to be on Energy Speaks podcast. I'm almost positive that was in 2021. Was it
Oh
not?
my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember.
Because I wasn't present in Florida for 2022
Okay,
until
yep.
like August, and I
Yep.
had not gone to an 11:11 meditation, so it had to have been 2021
Yeah,
when
that would
this
make
was
sense.
initiated.
Yeah, that would make sense.
2 years later, it
That's wild.
aligns.
Yeah,
That is
right?
wild.
It's so wild. And again, totally meant to be though, like in this now moment. That's what's so magical about all of that, just trying to not force things to happen and just allowing everything to unfold as it's meant to. And oh my gosh, so much
All
creation.
all is divine timing, and it's
Yeah.
like, we learn to um be part of that Aries energy when we take inspired action.
Yeah. Yeah.
And wow. uh, so like, you know I'm just grounding all of this in, because what you do is so powerful. It really
Mhm.
is.
Mm.
What is something that you could, because you shared your journey of like, I'm a healer. Whoa, what? Like, like how do I connect? Like, how can I give my gift to the world? Like, what is that? What do you suggest for others out there that are going through this? And like, say they realize potentially what it is, and money seems to be a factor in investing in this mission. What do you say? What do you do?
Join Neem.
That
Join our New
was
Earth
great.
Academy movement.
That was not that was not a pitch, you guys.
Yeah, right.
That was not a setup.
That would just be one avenue, right? Like,
Yeah.
tapping into all these different opportunities of abundance that can come in for us. Um, that is a tough one because, some people are in, different circumstances. And I was lucky enough. I know luck, again, we make our own luck. It's what we're open to receiving. Um, but I would just say that if it is something that is your purpose that you are really, really deeply feeling called to do, trying to step out of the control and that masculine energy and stepping more into that feminine, divine flow, creative energy, and just doing the meditation, like as any meditation, whatever it might be. Um, and looking, researching, figuring out different ways to get out there and to try to figure out how you could maybe align with certain things there, like it with sound healing. There's plenty of people who are selling their used bowls and they're perfectly fine. So if you wanted to get into sound healing, use something like that where it's, maybe you just get a bowl or two and you use something that is, that someone selling on, I don't know, Amazon or Etsy. Amazon probably wouldn't be, Etsy, eBay, stuff like that. Even on Facebook Marketplace, I bet you there's people that are selling, like anything, whatever it might be that you're trying to get into. I'm just using sound healing as a reference, but doing as much processing as you can. And, you know, because of the nature of this reality and human beings, we have been so conditioned and programmed into certain ways of living. And some of the process of getting into what your purpose and passion is healing those past traumas and healing some of these programs that have been running and running and running in our minds, and
Mm.
learning how to figure out what those things are and do they actually resonate with you anymore. Is it something that that you believe in? Is it something that feels right to you, or is it just something that you've been told to do, or is it just something that you've been, you know, grown up in? So it just is, it just is. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. How many times have I heard that in my life? Well, but I don't like this part, but that's just how it is. Well, I don't accept that. There's the Aries fiery energy again. There's just certain things that it, you know, like the whole system buster, you know, like there's energy that has come in, and we're here to like shift that energy. We're here to question things. We're here to shake things up, and, you know, like look at a different, you know, trying to look at different ways of living, and what actually makes more sense to us. There's so much disconnection in our entire world that it's like trying to figure out how to bring that back, you know, like we were talking with your farewell party, like this community, we came together and it was this amazing experience. Excuse me. So
Yeah.
I would just say, yeah, like really allowing yourself to feel into what you are feeling passionate about, what you feel like is your calling, your purpose, and then doing whatever you can to heal yourself. Because, you know, I'm a healer. Well, I'm holding space. I don't heal you, you know, like we're all healers. Every single human being is a healer. We heal ourselves. Now I'm a healer in the role of a healer, but I'm holding space for people to heal themselves, to create an opportunity for them to have an opening, for them to have new awareness to come in. I'm getting goosebumps talking about this stuff.
I am too.
Oh my God. Like it's just, oh, it's, I don't know. It's just, it's amazing. It's amazing, right? So doing whatever you can to let go of all of those the old things, all of the old talking, the stories we're telling ourselves, any traumas, any, like anything, just anything. And yes, I mean, we have varying levels of all these things because we've all chose different experiences in this one lifetime that we're in right now. We've got multiple, if that's in your belief system. So just really moving through some of that, because I feel like once you can unpack some of that, and I know that's not fun, the dark night of the soul, right? All of these things that when we have to look at ourselves and really dig into some of these deep pockets that we have, they're not pretty. The spiritual awakening process is not always fun. It's not rainbows and puppies and butterflies and we're all just floating around on clouds, right? Like it can get ugly and it can get heavy and depressing, and you know, as you're moving through all of these things that we've been programmed and society is still pushing us into a certain direction, but you're like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't know if I like this anymore. There's a lot that's going to come up depending on what's happened in your life and from childhood. There's so many of our adult problems is, you know, due to these childhood things that we have not fully dealt with. And so really kind of moving through some of that, and you know, it's kind of a messy process, but you have to go through this inward internal journey in this process to, you know, shift some of that. And the thing is we're human. We're not going to be perfect. We're not supposed to be, you know, we have an ego. We're not supposed to get rid of that. That's a part of who we are. It's just learning to balance the ego, the mind with our hearts, you know, and then being able to speak that. It's same with masculine, feminine energy. So much of our society is this masculine energy, and the feminine energy is so out of balance, and we each have, you know, this within us. And so learning how to kind of balance those both out, knowing and feeling when is the opportune moment to use more of the masculine energy or use more of the feminine energy. um, so just doing whatever you can to process through those things, healing some of those traumas within you, you know, creating your own reality. What does that look like for you? And if it is something that you are very passionate about, then opening yourself up and allowing what needs to come in the process of you getting to that point. There's that feminine energy, you know, like allowing yourself to be open to what is meant for you. And once we let go of that control, there's so much freedom in letting go. It sounds so funny when you say it that way, but there is. When you let go, then you're allowing that flow to come in. So if it is something that is meant for you, then it's going to happen. It will, if you allow it to.
Oof. Wow. Wow. Ah. Like that was gold. That was gold. Could never have been replicated better, said better. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing
Thank
that
you.
those words of wisdom. Like, and I really love what you said in regards to us all being healers. We are. We all have our own
Absolutely.
specific talents and gifts. It's just like the same thing in regards to when I speak about the zodiac. We have every single one of those energies inside of us.
Right.
And so it's like, what do you, how do you want to bring the light? How do you want to bring your healing gifts to the table? Whew.
Right.
So I have two questions. I told you I would have two questions that I'm going to ask every single person that does Energy Speaks, especially this season and probably moving forward. What is energy to you?
Everything.
I love
Everything.
that.
Energy is everything. Going back to like with the sound healing, everything is made of energy. Even what we perceive as like a solid object, the wand that I use for my sound healing, it feels solid, it's hard. It still is made of energy. It still is made of its own frequency, and it's just slowed down energy to the point where we can feel it and touch it. But technically there's no solid objects. There's nothing, because it's all energy. So everything, including us, is made of all of this energy. So
Wow. I love
everything.
it. Great. Now, how does energy speak to you?
Oh boy. Depends on the day. No.
Totally
Right?
valid.
hmm Um, I feel like it speaks to me through sound. I hear it. I feel it. Um, Obviously with sound healing, I'm really drawn to those types of things. Um, it's just something that is a part of who we are. Um, so yeah, I can hear it, I can feel it, and it's just all around.
Wow. Wow. That's so beautiful. Speaking of this sound and this healing, would you like to share any of that with us here today?
Yeah, yeah, I can try.
We're going to do the best we can, folks.
hmm See, I'll scooch back, because then maybe if I'm not so close to the microphone, it won't cut out. So we'll see. So
Okay.
fingers crossed you can hear a little bit. I'll start with my. Everybody loves this one. This is a Merkaba. It's also made of crystal. So this one is it's the inverted pyramids. So you have the masculine and the feminine energy within this one. And then when I chime it and when it's spinning, there's 16 different vortices of energy that are coming off of this thing. So because of the inverted pyramids, it's also bringing the energy down from the universe, and also helping to move energy from the earth. So I'll try. We'll see how this works.
Sorry, guys.
Did it just cut out?
So what I'm noticing is the best is the first few hits that you do is what is being heard.
Sure. Yep. We can try it. We can try this too. I don't know what this will do. This is that rotochrosite bowl that I had earlier.
So the first few hits.
And then it just cuts out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of the issue with using, like, sometimes Zoom, like, it'll work okay because they have some settings on there, but yeah, it's hard to capture that sound on a video just because there's so many different things, you know, happening within it. So
Yeah. That's so beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it
yes,
just
absolutely.
plants it plants the seed of you having your own session or group session with Jennifer.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I have a website. If you wanted to, I did make a recording. If you go to the website, I have a little sample MP3 on there of me playing the Alchemy Bowl. So people can go there too if they'd like to hear. It's wavesoflovehealing.com.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Yes, please check it out. And maybe one day we'll have an album from you.
Right? Would that be awesome? Like,
You're
it's
right.
something I'm thinking of. I'm thinking actually of doing like little short meditations, some with me talking, some with me not talking, and putting them on YouTube. So I think that would be really fun.
I can hook you up with a studio that is very literally where I did these podcasts.
That
Check
would be
out
awesome.
Envision. It's in St. Pete, and they have both a podcast studio that does pick up these frequencies. And then also they have a music recording studio next door, and it's $45 a month, and you get 2 days of 4 hours a piece of studio time.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
absolutely. And for those who are in St. Pete, you know, I'm sure they would love to have you there. You just check out their website, Envision Cafe.
That's awesome.
So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here, and you're always welcome on Energy Speak Podcast.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
And I want to say thank you to our guests for listening. And I feel like we just did a show and tell.
Right?
So Energy Speaks is definitely show and tell.
It's all the things. It's all the things because it's energy. It's all the things.
Right. Oh, wow. Thank you all, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks Podcast with your host, Catrielle. Shalom.